Welcome to Enots Engineering. I'm Alan. Today in the workshop I'll start working on a set of Hemingway boring bars. The kit consists of 3 pairs of boring bars, 2 at 3/8, 2 at 5/16 and 2 at 1/4. So let's go into the workshop and see how we do it. This is what you get in the kit. You get the working instructions, the drawings, a bag which contains screws, washers, a high-speed steel drill and some steel for the tool bits, a block of cast iron for making the tool holders, a bar of steel to make the boring bar clamps and bars of steel to make the 6 boring bars, 3 bars of silver steel to make the push rods for each boring bar. This is the cast iron block to make the boring bar holders. You can see that the supplier has already cut slots in there to make it easier to divide. This will make 3 boring bar holders, and what I'll do is machine all the sides using a milling machine. You can machine them in a 4-jaw chuck on a lathe, but my vise on the milling machine is not wide enough to hold all of these, so I need to saw one off. I'll just use a hacksaw to separate the block. You can see from this section that none of the sides are square. They all have draft angles on because this is a casting. So I need to clean up the 2 large sides, the top, the inside and the edges. This is the tool I'm going to use for milling. It has 4 inserts fitted and will cover the width of the casting in one pass. You could also use a fly cutter. I'll start by machining the widest part of the casting to produce a datum face. I'll then change to the block I cut off and machine it to the same depth. I then machined all the other faces square to the first face and reduced them to the correct size. And the final job was to machine the cut lengths to size. We started with a block of cast iron and now have 3 boring bar bodies ready for the drilling operations. I've touched the edge finder on the end. Got the edge. What I need to do now is wind in 2 millimeters from that position, which is half of the diameter, then reset 0 and then wind in to the centre of the first hole. And that is on the centre of the first hole, so change that for a centre drill. Move across to the next hole position. And drill the second centre drill hole. Now I'm drilling a 6mm hole straight through the block. Move to the first hole. Change the drill. This is a 1/2 inch drill. Come down, just touch the drill on the top. Zero my Z axis. And I need to go down 15/16 of an inch. Please note the hole depth is measured from the edge of the drill, not the tip. I'll just increase the drill speed. Move back to the other hole. And there are the 3 blocks with the clamping holes finished. We now start to make the boring bar clamps out of the 1/2 inch pre-cutting mild steel bar. I'm reducing this diameter down to 6mm. That's now 6mm diameter. Just round the edge off. Slow the speed down, ready for the 6mm die. This is my new die holder, so I don't have to worry about hitting the die on the face. The thread should end 1/4 of an inch from the face. Reverse the chuck. I'll now change to a parting off tool. There's the 3 blocks with the clamping bolts fitted. All I need to do to the bolts is the hole that goes through the side that holds the boring bar, and put a slot on the bottom for the screwdriver to fit. This is my setup for slotting the end of the clamping bolts. I have a 2mm end mill. My boring bar holder here with the V in the bottom. And I'll take a clamping bolt, place it in the V. A piece of brass at the top to stop it getting damaged. Just clamp it lightly. Touch the cutter, turn it on. Set my dial to 0 on the compound slide. Wind it across first. Till it touches. Just touching there. And just feed it in as I wind it across. I'm feeding the tool in slightly every time I pass the part. And every now and again I just use this toothbrush to get the swarf off the cutter. Once I've gone down 1.5mm under the clamp, take the part out. There's the slot going to the next one. I'll finish off slotting all the bolt heads just the same as I've just shown you. I'll move on now to make 2 spacer washers. Face the end of the bar square. First centre drill. And then drill 6mm hole. I'll now set my parting off tool square to the chuck. I'm touching it onto the end of the part. 0 my readout, moving 91.5, the thickness of the parting off tool, 0 it again. That puts this face level with the edge of the part. Now I can move in the thickness I need, which is 3/64 of an inch. And that is 0468. Lock the carriage there and part that off. That will give me one of the washers. Zero again. Move back again to the next one. Part off the second washer. 46.5 thou, and I wanted 0.0468. So this washer fits on the clamping bolt, one on the second one. They fit into the casting. We line the screwdriver slots up. So I've just put the nuts and washers on the back of the casting and align the slots. This is ready now to have the hole drilled. Boring bar goes through there. Oh well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Enots Engineering.